Playoffs.
We talk about playoffs? We talk about playoffs?
That's right, guys. It's the NFL playoffs, and it's already recording when we're back with another podcast. And this week, we're talking NFL wildcard. It's the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. I'm 007, Gage Sutton. And today, we are joined by a good friend, Mr. Jared, joining us to help us with
J10.
Let's go. Are we recording? We here, we live.
Hey, Jared, thank you so much for joining the show, man. We really appreciate you coming on. And for everyone who's interested in following Jordan, we're going to post all of his socials down below.
Come on, man.
Oh, Jared.
We can't confuse my aunts. We can't confuse
Jordan. I know. Hey, we were supposed to have your friend
Jordan too. So I've been hearing that all my life, bro. So it's all good.
My bad, Jared. We have we were supposed to get another friend of the show, Jordan, on the show. But
and Jordan gonna hear about this. And Jordan gonna hear about this for sure.
For sure. He's missing the classic.
Yeah, he's missing certified classic. But Jared's all of his information is going to be down below in the description. And if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you guys are subscribing, share it with a friend, share it with a lover, share it with
your
grandma.
Share it with some bad bitches. We need some bad bitches on this channel, man. Fuck wrong with it. Come on. It's time. It's time, man. Because I'd hate for the end of the year we do a 20v1 popping balloons, man. You guys don't want to see us start doing this. You don't want to see us start doing this.
Hey, if you're watching these NFL videos, thank you. Appreciate it. If you're a bad bitch watching this NFL video, we appreciate you. But all right. Well, let's get right into it. And since we got Jared on the show, man, I just want to get started with some overreactions. Maybe it could be from week 18 or it could be from the season as a whole. But Jared, I just kind of want to get your take on what you thought about the 2024-2025 NFL season.
Well, 24-25 NFL season. Honestly, it was a fun one to me. You know what I mean? We got to see a lot of rising stars in the league. Jayden Daniels, I thought he would play great all year. Of course, it could have been better if my Cowboys were healthy, but I say that every year, right? It's something.
We can't win. We can't win them all, right?
Can't win them all. But the year Lamar is having, the year Josh Allen is having, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, it's been a lot of great football to me. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's like the NBA where nobody's watching that shit. You know what I mean? So NFL is still the big dog. You know what I mean? So I'm loving the NFL season for sure. And it's going to be a great playoffs too. I would definitely see that.
Oh yeah.
Gage, you go.
No, I was just going to say, I'm so excited for the playoffs. Coming into this episode, I'm already trying to think about what's going to happen, and we'll get to our predictions later on in the show. But to just add on to what Jared said, we just so many awesome performances this year. I mean, we didn't even talk about Joe Burrow, who, even though the Bengals were right out of the playoffs, he had an amazing season. Saquon and Derrick Henry, both on new teams. Josh Jacobs too. It was just a really great year overall, like you said, Jared. And but with all of the great that came, there was a lot of bad too. And Ethan, I feel like that's where you excel, buddy. So I'm gonna let you spread your hate and negativity. What do you have to say about the 2024 NFL season?
Honestly, it was cool. There's a lot of hate in my heart. Always gonna be it. Never gonna take it away, right? Because I just gotta spread hate in this world. We have so much love in it. We need someone like me to spread the hate. And I've spread a lot of hate towards the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, to my former team, the Dallas Cowboys. But there's no team that I don't think I've hated more this entire season than probably the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm tired of Mike Tomlin getting away with these above 500 seasons. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if he's sacrificing ghosts. I don't know if it's black magic voodoo. I don't know how he's doing it. I really don't understand. Because the fact that these mid-ass Pittsburgh Steelers made the playoffs blows my mind. And don't get me wrong, right? Russ wasn't as bad this year as he was with the Broncos the year before. And they got some studs on the defensive side, like TJ Watt going TJ Watt.
Yeah.
But how do they keep doing this with Joe Burrow and that offense doing what they did for the Bengals? If they had any semblance of a defense, of an NFL defense, they would have jumped them. I just hate that they did this. even now we gotta even watch the Denver Broncos in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Pastor Sam, but I gotta watch Bo fucking Knicks on my TV screen. Come on, chat. The jury's out on Bo. And I'll be the first one to say, Gage can tell you this. We was putting a battery in, and maybe Bo should be rookie of the year. Boy, was he wrong. Boy, was we wrong.
I mean, he still had a great season.
Yeah, he did. He had a great year, though, for sure.
All things considered, I think he had a good season. And obviously, I get where you're coming from. I wanted the Bengals in the playoffs just as much. And that's my overreaction. I'm going to keep it in the AFC North before we get to Jared's. The Bengals, man. Let's talk about them real quick, because for me, it starts with their slow starts to the season.
Yeah.
They lost to the Patriots week 1, and that's the game that could have changed whether they make the playoffs or not. So, yeah, the defense was bad. There were stretches where, T. Higgins was hurt. Things weren't clicking all the way, but it starts at the beginning of the season. You got to come out strong, win against these opponents that you're supposed to beat. New England week 1. What are we doing? And again, like it's been a constant for Cincinnati since Joe Burrow's gotten there. They have had slow starts. I don't know. I think it might've been since Andy Dalton's been there.
So is it time to move on from Zach Taylor? Is that what you think so? Or
my thing is, it probably is. It probably is. But how can you say move on from Zach Taylor, right? When he's arguably the most successful Bengals head coach in modern history.
Yeah. Marvin Lewis.
He's more successful than Marvin.
Yeah, I was going to say, Marvin never got him to a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. But don't get me wrong, consistently, probably around the same, right?
Right.
But he got into a Super Bowl, right? And it's kind of like, all right, he probably shouldn't have let Jesse Bates walk, because look at how bad this defense is.
Yeah.
And he really still hasn't built up that offensive line that much. He's tried. Don't get me wrong. They've used a lot of draft picks. They got what's his name? Is it Trent Brown? Or he got old boy for the tackle from my Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And so my Kansas City Chiefs. And him being able to replace Joe Mixon this offseason with equal production has been great. But that defense, you're wasting like prime MVP years out of guys like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, because more than likely T. Higgins is probably going to be gone this year to whoever, maybe a team like the Packers, maybe a team like the Minnesota, not even the Minnesota Vikings, but you get what I'm saying? Like he's probably gone. So they probably should. I just don't know if they have the cojones to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way Joe Burrow's talking about T. Higgins, he thinks he's going to come back. But I just don't know how that's going to happen financially, because they're going to have to back the Brinks truck up for Jamar Chase. Yeah, next summer. So all right, I think is it this summer or next summer?
Is this summer? Cox sources.
Yeah, and he's not taking a discount at all, especially if he tried to get the deal done before the season. No, I need everything.
Bro, that's the thing I didn't understand about Cincinnati is why didn't you pay him right when Justin Jefferson got paid? Because that number was only going to keep getting bigger and bigger as Jamar Chase played better and better this year, because arguably he was Triple Crown, arguably better than Justin Jefferson, who had an amazing season as well.
Yeah.
That price tag is going way up in Cincinnati. And I just don't know how realistically they're going to bring back T. Higgins or a lot of the guys that they might want to bring back.
Yeah.
And then another team I want to focus on. I know last week me and you, Gage, touched on how much of a disappointment we thought Anthony Richardson and the Colts were as a whole. I think another team that kind of fell underneath the radar, and I know they are going to be in our wild card preview, the Houston Texans. Like, they were a little bit underachieved as far as performances go.
Yeah.
Because people were, correct me wrong, people was gassing CJ Stroud, saying he top 5.
Yeah.
Ready maybe to take that MVP leap.
Yeah.
And him and the team haven't played good. Now, I'm going to shoot CJ Stroud some bail, right? Nico Collins missed a big chunk of the year. Tank Dell might not ever play football again. Right. Stephon Diggs, he's out for this year. They might not bring him back for next year. They didn't really have a lot of weapons this year. The offensive line was not good. But even still, like the performances that CJ had, considering all that, I don't think he helped himself that much. I think fans might have jumped the gun in where they had CJ and the Texans, because they're, even though they are in the playoffs, right? And any given Sunday they can win. I don't see them as any sort of type of contender.
Do you feel like it's maybe like a sophomore slump with CJ? Like year 2, everybody has film now. Like, okay, this is what he likes to do, so we're gonna stop that. Do you think it could be something like that, like a sophomore slump?
A little bit, but like I said, I'm shooting him a little bit of bail. The weapons, Joe Mixon was solid this year, right?
Yeah, he was.
But outside of Nico Collins, that second half of the year, he didn't really have no help.
Mm-mm.
And that in combination with what you said, them having more tape on him, like it was kind of, they kind of caught a bad break. They really did.
Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about the play calling in Houston either. Just because, I don't know, it seemed like a lot of the times I was watching Texans games, CJ Stroud was always in 3rd and long. And he was always trying to do something crazy, ends up taking a sack, incomplete pass. Like, he just didn't look like himself.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that it wasn't his fault, but like Ethan said, there were a lot of contributing factors with all the injuries on the team, and the play calling didn't do him any favors putting him, or I guess the game flows didn't do him any favors putting him in these tough situations. So I don't know. Hopefully he can turn it on in the playoffs, because I do like CJ. I want to see him be a top 10 quarterback, but we're going to have to see it next year when hopefully all those guys get healthy and they revamp that O-line a little.
Yeah. He would be great, though. I mean, he's in the AFC South. I feel like they're going to dominate this conference or conference for a minute. So, I feel like he'll be good, though.
Especially with the way the Titans are playing, the Jags and the Colts. It's kind of like, it's really theirs to lose. Yeah, it really is, because we talked about last week. Anthony Richardson's not looking good whatsoever. The Jags, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is.
They robbed him. He pulled a Dak Prescott.
Okay, see. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna
talk about him.
We're not gonna talk about my king like that.
I'm just telling you what's going on, man.
Well, Jared, while we're on the topic, man, we should talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on with them, because this is just my opinion. What is going on with Mike McCarthy? I thought he should have been out the door, like by the end of the season, the day the season ended. It didn't matter how well he coached up to the end of the year. Right. He should have been out that door. How do you feel about that?
I was with Mike. I'm not going to lie to you. I was with Mike until the last game. When I saw the Washington Commanders come back, I was like, nah, he has to go now. Even though that's like that's the last game of the year. We don't really care. It says a lot, though, bro.
It's a microcosm, bro.
Yeah, it's like, y'all don't even care. And he's going to just be sitting there on the sideline doing the same thing. So, but at the same time, I can't argue that he has won 3 12-game seasons. So it's like, I kind of want to bring him back. I feel like he makes CD looks great, but you didn't have a package for Trey Lance all year. You didn't get Turpin involved all year. Like, it was Rico didn't come on till late all year. So it's a lot of things that coaching could have done. However, this is on Jerry Jones, though, in that offseason of shit that he put together. He didn't go get nobody. He let Derrick Henry go to Baltimore, Josh Jacobs. He let all these great players.
He let Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, no, I'm good. I got that at the house already. Like, you don't. So
ain't shit in the fridge. We don't got food
at home. Ain't shit in the fridge, bro. And you got to pay Dak. You got to pay CD. Just bite the bullet. I ain't the biggest Dak fan, but I'm not. Who else I'm going to get? I'm not. Shit, I'm stuck. So, you know what I mean? I'll ride with him for another 4 years, but, man, I don't know, man. We're going to get somebody at number 12. But our last 2 first-round draft picks, he won't be there. I don't think he gets out of the top 10. I really don't.
Okay, so if you don't think Genty gets out of the top 10, who is your ideal pick at 12? Or I guess position-wise, if you don't have a certain prospect in mind.
I know this is gonna be a wild take, but for some reason, I think this guy is gonna fall. And I know it's gonna be sounding crazy, but if he's there,
I know he's
or
gonna say.
if
I
he's
know he's gonna
there,
say, and
even
I'm all for the delusion. If he's there,
if
I'm all for
he's
the
there,
delusion.
and you get him like even if he's there like around 8, you could have to go get Shador. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
we're not on the same page.
I
Whoa.
know, I know, I
I thought
know,
we was
right?
there. Unc, you had me in the
I
first half.
know, I already know, right?
I was
But
thinking maybe you're just gonna say Abdul Carter. Maybe we put Abdul next to Micah. We got some speed demons. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing Shador. I'm jumping for
give
Shador.
me the Jordan Love effect.
Oh
I
no,
want that.
no. I see. Don't get me wrong. It's coming. Pause. Like I think Dak's
Yeah,
career is mirroring Tony Romo. Is like scary how much they mirroring each other.
yeah,
But I'm in the same.
yeah.
I'm in the same mode as Unc. Like this season is all Jerry Jones is doing, and I want to
Yeah.
blame Mike McCarthy. And Gage noticed for the past couple years, I've been on Mike's side. I've been fighting for him. But
Yeah,
after that embarrassment against Gage's teams, I said it's NFC Championship a bust. I don't care how. I don't care what happens during that season. It gets
yeah,
done, and it ain't got done. So don't get me wrong, right? As far as head coaching options, I don't really. Besides maybe Ben Johnson, I would love to take a chance on, or Joe Brady. I don't see a lot of head coaches or coordinators that are going to do a better job with this roster because it's a
right.
poorly constructed roster. It's very top heavy.
Terrible.
Trayvon Diggs, we don't know if Diggs ever going to play again,
Oh, he's done.
right?
I'll be trading him for a 4th round this offseason. I don't even care.
I'm not mad at that because he didn't play
Yeah,
well at all this season. He didn't
he
play at all
didn't.
last year. He missed the second half of this season. He's probably not going to play at all next year.
He got paid. He ain't
That's
come
what I'm saying.
on with
Like,
all the hoes. He don't care about this. He don't care about. He don't care
I don't
about
blame because
ball
they
no
gave
more.
him a fat contract too. And it's
Yeah, he
cool
don't
because
care
we
about ball.
have Bland, but at the same time, it's like DeMarcus Lawrence is getting older. He didn't play at all this year. He probably walks this summer.
Yeah,
Also, Digizua probably walks. It's like, what head coach is going to come in with this roster? Especially the Cowboys didn't really hit the last two first
no,
round picks.
they
Mozzie
didn't.
Smith has not been good. Don't get me wrong, he's been better than last year, and there's been some promise. But DT's such a hard position to get right,
Yeah,
and the Cowboys didn't get right, and they haven't done a great job of developing him. Now,
yeah.
Tyler Guyton, I have a lot more promise on. I think he's going to come good.
Me too. I
I
do
think he's
too.
going to come good. He's playing,
Yeah,
like I said, the second hardest position in the NFL in left
for
tackle.
sure.
I think he's going to come good. But they haven't really got too much production. And it's like if you and the Cowboys are notoriously pretty decent in the draft. And for the last 2 years, you're not really getting any depth in the draft. You're not really hitting on these stars in the first 2 rounds. And you're wasting draft picks on Trey Lance and Jonathan Mingo that
Yeah,
don't play at fucking all. Like, like what do you
that's
expect to happen?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You have to do something crazy.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
have to do.
Ethan, you have a lot to say about a team that you don't follow, you know?
Oh, he loves him. Don't
No,
let him
I
fool
don't.
you.
Stop spreading this. The audience
He
know.
loves him.
The audience know. The
Don't
AWR
let him
family.
fool you.
It is.
Don't let.
I just like seeing a car crash, man. That's all that is. Dude. My Chiefs gonna handle business. We gonna bring Tyreek back. It's coming.
No,
It's
because if Genty wears that 22, like you told
I'm
me,
back. I'm back.
yeah. So don't do that. I got the receipts, man.
No, you don't need them. I show them. If
Yeah,
Jetty or Becca Buka are wearing them jersey, that star on their helmet, I'm here.
yeah.
CD,
Or like, what's my boy that you put me on with, Arizona T Mac? Oh, let's
T-Mac?
Tedera McMillan.
yeah, for sure.
Send him.
Yeah, him, Shador. That's the only two.
Oh, here with the Shador stuff.
I
See,
know.
I can't co-sign that.
Oh, man.
I want us to do like a Pat Mahomes, Alex Smith, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. You gotta have somebody to back him up.
But this isn't the class to do it, man. It's just like
You
I think
don't think?
Shador. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think Shador or Cam are. I don't think they're better than any of the quarterbacks that were coming out last year. And I don't know if that's bold, but
Yeah, that's tough.
If anything, if you
I don't
dead
think
set
they're
on
better than Caleb. I don't think they're better than Jayden. I don't think they're better than Drake May.
Or
Maybe
both.
Bo Nix. Maybe JJ McCarthy.
I think they're better than Bo Nix and JJ. I'm interested to see what they do. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago. I'm interested to see what the Vikings do with JJ. Let's say the Vikings make it to the NFC Championship game. They play the Lions or the Eagles. Like, what do you do? Do you give Sam $38-40 million a year?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's gonna be such an
Absolutely
interesting
not.
development this offseason, bro. Because
Absolutely not, bro.
I'm on the train of you don't pay him, but there's so many people who are gonna say give him that money. But like, look at Deshaun Watson. Look how much money he has them held up for. You don't want to fall into that where Sam Darnold falls back down to earth and he's playing like a $5 million quarterback, and you're paying him 40 mil. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see because quarterbacks like him, Kirk Cousins, what I like to call the Great White Hope. These mid-ass quarterbacks, they just give you a little bit of something that maybe you see a good future with them, but in reality, if it ain't a Goldilocks situation like what they have now, it's gonna be interesting to see what guys like him, Purdy, Kirk Cousins are gonna be able to make this offseason.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, E. Well, I think it's time for you to take your victory lap, because with the end of the regular season comes our final award or our final records for the NFL season, and our recording pick'ems. So Ethan, go ahead. The floor is yours. You can talk your shit, and yeah, go ahead. Because I
Let me say the mic for you real quick. I've been trying to tell you that I know ball, really more ball than any one of y'all. Like I really know this shit, like for real. And when you go 177 and 82, which I did in math, and it's approximately 69.4% of the NFL season in win-loss percentage. Do you know fucking ball? And maybe I should start betting. Who knows? I might start a Reddit stream or a Reddit thread where you guys pay me $5 subscription a month where I give y'all the picks. Because I don't be missing. Like Gage, maybe you might need to set the $5. Maybe you, because 160 and 99 ain't gonna get it done. That's a 17-point game advantage. BTA, belt to ass what I gave you. And it's all right though. It was cute. It was a cute little effort you gave me this season. Maybe next year you might get it under 10. But this year it wasn't close, Pops. It wasn't close.
You know what? I'll take the L this year. This is the first year we're doing the season-long pick'ems, and I finished at 61% win percentage. So I did okay.
It was cute.
But yeah. Remind me next year not to pick the fucking Jets, because I guarantee you half of those losses came from picking the Jets early in the season, thinking they're gonna bounce back, they're gonna come back. No, that was not the case.
Yeah, you was in the hole early. You was in the hole early in the season.
Yeah, and just could never catch back up. But you know, I'm not too mad. Again, winning record. It was a crazy season, a lot of unpredictability. So I'll take it.
I tell you what, I'm starting to feel more and more like 42 Doug when it comes to these betting shit.
Yeah,
Because I betted this last week of the season, and I felt like a mad scientist putting this parlay together when it comes to NBA or NFL incentives. And bro, does Mike Evans have fucking boxing gloves? Does Malik Neighbors have boxing gloves? Why it take y'all the whole fucking game to hit y'all's yardage? Like I needed you. Where was you when I needed you? Like, yeah, Mike hit the over or hit his 1,000 yards, but I needed 100 yards. You could have given me that. I needed that. Do they know that they're playing my money, Unc? Do they know that?
Man, Unc, he don't care about that. He's trying to get that record, bro.
It makes me sick. Like, never did I realize, because you hear these stories, right, of like super fans DMing athletes, like all this racist and like crazy wild shit in their DMs because they parlays ain't hit. I'm not saying I did it, but I'm just saying I understood for a second. You know what?
The burner page?
Yeah. Let me make this burner page and get something off my chest to Malik Neighbors real quick. Because ain't no way. You averages 70-something yards the last 7 games of the season. You can't hit that on the last game. And you need to hit the rookie record. Knowing that I got money on you.
It's politics.
What boxing gloves they got on? All of them.
He's like, nah, you can't catch this. You can't, You see what happened to Gerard Mayo for winning that game?
Woo! They get bad. They gave him the double deuce.
Didn't we tell you to lose?
They told Brian Flores the same thing. You didn't want to listen. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to order your Uber out of here. Just make sure you stand outside when they come out.
For sure. Like, yeah, that shit is crazy. That's crazy.
I actually don't feel for the Bengals in the sense of like winning that last game and the Chiefs benching all their starters because Gage, like you said it, you should have won your games earlier in the season. You had the Patriots at home, week 1.
Yeah, take care of business, man. And you're not put in that situation. And again, you face a lot of adversity through the season, but it's better to start 2-2 than I think they started 1-4 probably, like they normally do.
I think they started where I think they were like 2-6 or some shit like that to end the year. Cox sources.
Yeah, it was rough for them, but I guess we'll just have to see. The coaching carousel, this offseason is going to be really interesting. We've got Ben Johnson as one of the candidates. Mike Vrabel. Might see where some of those guys get jobs. But before we get to all of the offseason stuff, it's time for the NFL wildcard round. And Jared, we got you here.
Let's do it.
To help us with the predictions, man. So before we get started into this, if you've liked this video so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. And make sure you tell all of your friends about the AWR Recording channel. And
that's right. Turn that bell on too. So get notified every time.
Yeah, exactly. So now, without further ado, we got our wildcard weekend. The Lions and the Chiefs obviously on a bye as the 1 seeds. But let's get right into the scheduling, starting with our Saturday night matchups or Saturday morning matchups. Of the Chargers visiting the Houston Texans.
I'm going to go with Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have these guys ready to play. I just don't think Houston haven't looked good to me the remainder of this year. So since that Tank Dell injury, I just feel like they killed a lot of the morale. So I'm going to go with Chargers for sure.
I'm going to double up with you, Unc. I just don't think they have the firepower that if the Chargers were able to take it up a year or two, they'd really need like a great defensive performance from guys like Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley, who got his first All-Pro nod, and Daniil Hunter. They're going to need them to carry. And I just don't see how that offense moves the ball against a hardball defense.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're turning the Los Angeles Chargers to, is a hardball team.
Yeah.
Right. We laughed when they picked Joe Alt instead of maybe Roma Dunze or one of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
They probably got the best tackle duo in the NFL for the next 5-6 years in him and Rashawn Slater. They laughed when he picked a guy like Ladd McConkey to start the second round. Broke Keenan Allen's rookie receiving record. Like, they got guys. Quentin Johnson, don't get me wrong, he had a horrible of a first NFL season at the wide receiver position that you could have. But he's pretty solid this year. 700 yards, 7 tubs. That's a solid year between him and McConkey.
Yeah.
And you have J.K. Dobbins, who, yes, was out for a certain amount of time with injury. When J.K. Dobbins was there, he was lights out for them. Yeah. He was lights out for them, producing way more than he ever did with the Ravens. Finished year almost on 1,000 yards, around 900 with 9 tubs. That's quality production out of him.
Yeah.
I just don't see how the Texans go machine for machine if it goes to that point.
Yeah, the Chargers are way ahead of schedule, by the way, because I think people thought Harbaugh was going to come in and they were going to struggle, maybe be a wild card team, but they have looked really impressive. And I'm going to roll with y'all. I think they get the win over the Texans in Houston. And it's because of that Harbaugh style of defense, or the Harbaugh style of ball that they play on the defensive side and offensive, run it right up the middle, right through your teeth. It'll be tough for the Texans, and I expect to see CJ Stroud under a lot of pressure on Saturday. But we'll move on to our next matchup, which is a divisional matchup in the playoffs, which should be fun. The Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday night. How we feeling?
Ooh, no Zay Flowers, correct?
I will check. He's out.
I'll double check that.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, he is out.
I want to say Baltimore, but this is a division rival. It's going to get ugly. It's going to be a hard. It's going to be a hard game. But I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I just think Lamar. Come on, bro. You can't have an MVP type of year and get put out first round. So you got to do whatever you got to do to win this game.
The agendas will go wild if he loses this game.
Yeah, for sure.
And I might be leading the charge.
And this is what you got him for this offseason. You play through Derrick Henry, bro. You take that stressing off Lamar. You don't have to throw the ball 40 times. You run this ball. So don't forget what got you here. That's all I would say to Lamar. And run the ball. So I'm gonna go Ravens, but it's gonna be a tough match for sure.
I'm right there with you. I think against the Chiefs last year, Lamar tried to be something that he wasn't, right? And don't get me wrong, I think Lamar is a very good passer, but he tried to go machine for machine with 15. You can't do that. You can't do that. They needed him to be smart with the football. They need to run the ball and control the clock. And when you have a guy like Derrick Henry this time around, you have no other choice but do that. Do what you do and do it well and stick through it. Don't abandon like how you did last year against the Chiefs, right?
Exactly.
First game in the playoffs, started off strong. Just run the ball through Derrick Henry. He got that monkey a little bit off his back of not being able to beat the Steelers, even though he didn't have the worst resume against the Steelers.
Right.
But he was on a 4-game losing streak, right? And they played him a couple weeks ago and smoked him. 4 tubs the week before Christmas. I think Ravens win this pretty handily, especially playing in Baltimore.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's been on a skid lately too. Russ hasn't looked as great. I think the last good game he had was against the Bengals defense, probably, and their Swiss cheese, as we talked about earlier. So I'm going to go with the Ravens too. I just think there's too much on the line for Lamar for his legacy, his playoff just career. He needs this win. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
I'll tell you what, though, if the Steelers got a shot in the sense they got to make this ugly, like how they always do. They got to keep it under 20. Yeah. Hopefully, Rush can do some big plays to George Pickens.
Yeah,
and get on the scoreboard early. But that's the only really shot I see the Steelers having.
And Mike Tomlin's gonna have these boys ready to play. It's good. We coming for y'all head for sure. So. TJ Watt, he has to be a game wrecker. Like he's gonna have to.
I don't think he's had the greatest of years this year. I really don't think he has. And like I said, it's gonna be a lot of pressure on their defense to make sure Baltimore doesn't go off crazy for 34 like they did last game.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll move on to our next one, which will start our Sunday morning window of games, and it is the Denver Broncos, the Buffalo Bills, and I think I know where all of us are going with this one. I think we all are going to agree with Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen because just because of the way he's played. But if you guys have any objections to Bo Nix and want to say that the Broncos,
I'll be devil's advocate, right? I'll be devil's advocate. I'll be on the side for this case on the Broncos. The Broncos got a top 5 defense. They got probably the DPOY in Pat Surtain. He's going to shut off one side of the field.
For sure.
And they're accustomed to playing in the cold weather. They play in the high altitude in Denver. It's going to be no slouch for them. It's going to come down to, can Bo Nix make the plays that he needs to make? Because he's had opportunities. He had opportunities against the Bengals and wasn't able to get it done, especially in overtime and late in that game. Is he going to be able to get guys like Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton the ball during money time? If he can do that, and the Broncos defense is able to at least slow down Josh Allen enough and that offense, I think they got a shot. But no way in hell am I picking the Denver Broncos in this game.
Yeah, you know what? I thought this was going to be my upset pick, but
it was mine. It was going to be mine too.
Like Josh Allen, bro, he 1-on-1 damn near, bro. Like, I love Lamar, I love Mahomes, but Josh Allen is like, fuck. He's talented, like, bro. He's like a god build, like a creative player, really.
Yeah, honestly, you build him in a laboratory because
bro. So
I just don't think the Broncos got the firepower.
Yeah,
that's gonna take to at least because there is the chance that Josh has one of those games and the offense can't get it over and Denver's defense can do that to you. but I just don't know if Bo Nix in that offense can capitalize. Like Sean Payton, ever since he left New Orleans, has not shown me he's able to coach an elite level offense. Bo Nix this season, yes, he's been bright in some spots, but I ain't seen like they got something in him. Don't get me wrong, but I ain't seen him have that takeover moment yet. And he's gonna need
What
that.
about Cincinnati game? You didn't think that was a great takeover moment for Bo Nix?
Nah, because he had it in overtime. He had the ball twice.
Yeah.
And he missed some throws bad.
Yeah.
And okay, so I will say, I think to give credit to the Broncos, the same way we did to the Chargers, they are ahead of schedule because I didn't think that Sean Payton was going to come in with a rookie quarterback after the disaster of a year they had last year. Also with 80 million dead cap on the roster.
Yeah, for sure.
And make the playoffs. So I think it's more of a culture thing. The Broncos needed to change a culture, and Sean Payton came in, got those guys to actually play hard on defense. And offensively, they just look way more cohesive. Bo Nix looks like he's more comfortable in the system than Russ did. And yeah, I mean, just props to the Broncos. They're going to get stomped by the Bills, in my opinion. But very ahead of schedule. I'm interested to see what their future looks like.
I think they got a shot, but I think this can very easily turn into a rout very quickly, especially if Josh has a type of performance similar to that of like when he played against the Rams. I think this can become out of hand, especially at home too.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Well, next up, we've got my Green Bay Packers visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know for both of you guys, these are two teams that aren't y'all's favorites. So it's picking a lesser of two evils. So I want to hear where you guys are going before I make my pick.
Oh, definitely. I'm going with Philly. I mean, I love Matt LaFleur. I just think the injury to Christian Watson, Jair, and Jordan Love, that's going to hurt. You know what I mean? It's just a bad timing thing. Because if they were fully healthy, I would probably – I would still pick Philly. But Green Bay would have a good chance. I wouldn't be – it would be way closer. But Philly is going to be dominant. I really see them making a long run here in the playoffs. So I honestly got them coming out the NFC.
I might – it pains me. It pains me to say it. I might be in a similar boat to you. I think it very much is dependent on Jalen Hurts' health. Didn't play last week against Dallas because it wasn't Dallas. Oh yeah, he didn't play against Dallas 2 weeks ago because of concussion. He played last week. They said he practiced yesterday or today and he's ready to go. But I think it's gonna be all dependent on his health.
Yeah.
They have too much weapons, I think, for that Packers defense. Xavier McKinney's been a baller this year, but I think they're gonna stick to what they know best and run the rock with Saquon Barkley.
So, and the thing is, Green Bay can do the same thing with Josh Jacobs. So it depends on really how healthy Jordan Love is. I say if he's 80%, it's gonna be a good game. But if he's banged up, then it's gonna be because both of the quarterbacks are banged up. So let's see. We might be in for an upset though, for sure. I mean, they did it to my Cowboys last year, and they were the number 2 seed. So, hell, I'm scared of Green Bay, and I think everybody should. They're a young team, but they play good offense and defense, and a great coach. Shit, you can't put nothing past them. So, and if Philly loses, the head coach is definitely going to be out. So,
Sirianni will not hear the end of it. Philly will will riot, but I think I agree with everything y'all said. Jordan Love, he's going to be the X factor for the Packers, I think, in the sense of depending on how well he plays is going to determine whether they win the game or not. Whether they stay in the game or not is if they can get Josh Jacobs incorporated and get him going early too. Because the Eagles are probably going to run the piss out of the ball. And defensively, I know, Ethan, we talked about them early in the year not having a very good defense. They completely flipped that narrative. They have one of the best defenses in football. And
Zach Vaughn's been a stud, man.
Bro, that whole defense, man. The fact that they just lose Fletcher Cox and then have Jalen Carter right there is just, it's unbelievable. Howie Roseman does it again. That guy's insane. But for that reason, even as a Packers fan, this pains me a lot to say it. I'm taking the Eagles. I just think they are the hot team, man. They look really good. Saquon is an MVP candidate, in my opinion. And they're going to be really hard to knock off. I think the Packers can, but it's going to take a very, very good game plan from Matt LaFleur and some elite quarterbacking from Jordan Love, I'm sure.
Gage, because I got to rant about Jordan Love for a little quick, because I think he was a little bit overhyped this season coming into the year as a dark horse MVP favorite, right? And I don't think Jordan Love's bad by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I think of how y'all dismantled my former Dallas Cowboys team. I think it maybe led a lot of people to jump the gun on how good this Packers team actually was. Because you tell me if I'm wrong, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I've watched the Packers the whole year, because to hell with them. I'm not watching that weak-ass team. But I don't see too much of a difference from their performances this year to last year. Don't get me wrong. I think Xavier McKinney has helped on the defense side of the football, help y'all get a lot more takeaways. But I think Jordan Love's been a lot more loose with the football than he was last year. And it's kind of canceled out. Josh Jacobs has been great to replace Aaron Jones's production. Probably done a little better. But as far as like closing the gap between them and a team like the Lions or the Eagles, I don't think they've done that at all this year.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they finished with a better record. I think they finished 9-8 last year and made the playoffs as the 7th seed. This year they finished 11-6, but finished 3rd in their division and still entered as the 7th seed. So it is kind of weird, especially because the expectations were higher after the win in Dallas. But there's a lot to account for. Jordan Love got hurt at the very beginning of the season, the first game. So that kind of, and then Malik Willis came in and won a bunch of games for us. But then getting Jordan back into the offense, getting him comfortable. But yeah, I think what you're saying, E, was it the season that everyone was expecting from the Packers where they blow up and take the league by storm? Nah, I don't think so. I think they had a solid season. They're a playoff team. That's great. And Jordan had moments of greatness, but he definitely had a lot of moments where he was turning the ball over too much. So, hey, the playoff run can still happen. We could see them pull off something miraculous, but I don't know. I still think, like Jared said, Packers are the youngest team in the league. They got a lot of time to figure this out. A lot of time to draft more weapons, add more pieces to help Jordan Love and the defense get better. So if this is the last that we hear of the Packers this season, it won't be the last we will hear of the Packers in the next coming seasons, because I think Jordan's legit, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do, too. And I thought he was going to be San Fran last year in the playoffs. So,
he was damn close.
He was damn close.
Was that third down or that fourth down where he threw that pick across his body?
Yeah,
it was a couple plays short. No, I feel him.
But all right, well, next we'll move on to our Sunday night finale. We've got the Washington Commanders visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and in my opinion, this is going to be the most fun game. I think the least predictable. How are you guys feeling?
I think it's a toss-up game for sure. It can go either way. We could see a breakout performance from Jayden Daniels, a welcome to the NFL type moment. But then I'm scared to bet against Baker Mayfield. He has some kind of motor in him that, like, he's just a winner. I mean, he's just like, he's a dog, bro. Like, and him, Mike Evans, Bucky Irvin, they got a lot of good pieces in Tampa Bay. So I'm going to go with the home team in Tampa Bay. Even though I love DQ, Dan Quinn, shout out to you, for turning the Commanders around. Scary Terry, what you just did to Deron Bland on me Sunday, that was messed my head up. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. But like I said, toss-up game, trap game, whatever you want to call it. It can go either way, for sure.
I'd have to second that again, because again, I'm not the biggest fan of Cliff Kingsbury, especially the way he's coached his offense the second half of the year. I think it's going to be very prevalent on whether or not Jayden Daniels is able to run the football effectively. I really think it is, because if he can't do that, if this offense, as we've seen, even with Terry McLaurin, is going to get caught in quicksand. And I just don't know which Bucks team we're going to see, bro. I really don't know. It's really just dependent on that. I think the best version of the Bucks is the better version than the Commanders.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're going to see that. But I'm going to count on that. I think we're going to get closer to seeing that, especially with Mike Evans back healthy. They have Bucky Irving, and he's going to be able to make some noise as well. I just think maybe we might need to taper expectations with Jayden Daniels, because he might do it. He might win this game in Tampa Bay. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities, but the Bucks have done this, been here before and done this, so I'm going to roll with the Bucks.
Man, we've been pretty chalk. I think all of us are kind of going with the same team. I'm gonna switch it up here. I'll go Washington, because even though my record was not as good as Ethan's, there were a few times this season where I picked Jayden Daniels just off of pure instinct.
Yeah,
and it paid off for me. He played really well, and I know the odds are stacked against him as a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game, but I think Jayden Daniels puts defenses in a lot of predicaments, and he's gonna make this Tampa defense work. So I'll take the Commanders. I think, like you guys said, it could go either way. Tampa's a very, very talented team, and when Baker's cooking, he's electrifying to watch. So it should be a really fun game. And
do you
finally,
guys think are you guys leaning more low scoring or high scoring in this game?
I think high scoring for me.
I'd say like 24-14.
Okay, because my whole thing is I just don't. Also, to that Commanders defense, the Marshawn Lattimore move ain't really work out too well. Don't get me wrong.
Mike Evans and Lattimore.
Hey, but Lattimore locks up Evans. He locks up Mike Evans.
I saw this up. I saw this. They were breaking this down this week. Right, Lattimore's coming off probably one of his worst seasons. His hamstrings are pretty much cooked, but he's coming back healthy to play this game. If I'm Baker Mayfield in that offense, I'm testing him out the first 4 plays of that game. Yeah. We're gonna test that hamstring out. We're not gonna have you get into a fight with Evans early in the line of scrimmage. We're gonna sell Evans on goal routes, on deep crosses. We're gonna test that hamstring.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's gonna play a big part in what they're able to do against the Commanders, because if Marshawn Lattimore is looking what he's looked like all year, I don't see how they're not going to be able to move the ball on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be a shootout, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out Sunday night. And finally, we'll get to our last playoff game, or last wildcard game of the week. It is the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Los Angeles Rams. And this game has been moved to Arizona because of the fires in LA, which real quick, want to send some thoughts and prayers to anyone who's being affected by that. That's tragic, and just hope that people find some peace during all that chaos that's happening in LA. But on that note, guys, how are we feeling about the Rams and the Vikings?
I love it. I think it's going to be a shootout for sure. But I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm taking Sean McVay.
Okay.
I am. I think that this Minnesota Magic, it ends Monday. You know what I mean? And Sam Darnold, you're back to being Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? And no offense, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not gonna bet against somebody who's been there. And Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, Puka, and what's my boy Cooper Kupp. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm rolling with them. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a shootout though. Like I don't really see I see a high scoring game for sure.
Nah, this for sure. I just don't know how high it's going, because this Minnesota defense is elite, boy.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Got the boys balling.
But if there's anybody that can get the better of them, it is Sean McVay. My thing is, I think the Vikings got their yips out of the way last week against the Detroit Lions, because Justin Jefferson.
He got locked up.
Look for the AP bowler. He got locked up last week. Even they was trying, but Jordan Addison too was in hell. Like I know I'm with you, right? Sam Darnold eventually is going to fall down to earth, but last week wasn't his fault. Them boys was all locked up. I just don't know if the Rams have the outside help to be able to do what the Lions were able to do to them and slow down those two demons. And if they're able to do that and be able to convert on third downs with a back like Aaron Jones, I think it's going to help that defense a lot because it's going to put pressure on the Rams to have to score fast and score quickly. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, even with Cooper, even with Puka against that Minnesota defense. But I'm going to go to Vikings.
Yeah, this is a tough one because the Vikings have played really well. The Rams are a little bit more at a disadvantage now that they're playing in Arizona because they were already going to have like a weaker home field advantage playing in LA. They have so many Vikings fans that are going to invade Arizona now. But I think I would have to double check, but I think there was a stat that said that every team that Detroit beat the week after they played Detroit, they lost. I think they were calling it the Honolulu flu.
I think Detroit took their morale, though, for sure.
A little bit. I think a little bit because winner take all for the division.
Yeah,
even
that's
if it
what
was
I'm
in
saying.
Detroit, the Vikings had a shot. They really did have a shot, and they kind of squandered that opportunity a little bit.
Yeah, they got beat. They got demoralized. And as much as KOC is going to get those guys ready to play, like Jared's saying, Stafford's been there. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's going to step up in the moments that they need him. Can we say the same about Darnold? We don't know. It really is just going to come down to who's going to make the plays. And I think I'm going to go with the Rams. And that might just be my Packers bias coming out and me always picking against the Vikings because I fucking hate them. But I think the Rams definitely have an opportunity to play upset here.
And I think Sam Darnold got a lot of money on that stake because I think this game right here is the difference between maybe getting 25, 30 million and him maybe touching that 45, 50 M's.
Man, if he get 40 M's, bro.
The game is good. The game in disarray, right?
It's Skip Bayless numbers at that point. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, because Unc, you said it best. If he loses this game, Vikings fans will be like, "Oh, thank you so much for the great season." JJ McCarthy, please come in here now.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you win this game, that's when this talk's really gonna start.
Oh, it's gonna be heating up for sure.
Especially if you ball out, because let's play the hypothetical, right? Let's say the Vikings are the 5th seed. More than likely, they're probably gonna end up playing. They're gonna end up playing the Eagles. Probably. I don't see them playing. I really don't see them playing the Lions unless the Bucs win. And a third time against the Lions, it's always hard to beat a team 3 times, right?
Yeah.
I always say that. Yeah, the Cowboys have mad 4-game losing streaks against mad. but
hey, but you don't have to worry about that anymore. You're not a Cowboys fan anymore.
You told me bad. I'm not until that star on JT head.
Yeah, all right, man. I'll make sure.
You told me the Vikings with Sam Darnold don't got a shot against the Eagles?
No, he don't.
Okay. Shit, you making me want to say something crazy on the Vikings. You making me want to say something crazy.
Nah, I don't see it. Nah, that Eagles defense. Nah, that's
fair.
Like I said, the Minnesota Magic ends tonight. Great head coach, right? Great future. Jay McCarthy, it's your time now. Like Sam Darnold, I feel like JJ McCarthy kind of would have did the same thing. Honestly, I feel like
I don't know. I was never the biggest JJ McCarthy fan coming out of when he was out of Oregon or Michigan, right? Michigan. I was never the biggest fan of him, but I was also never the biggest fan of Bo Nix at all. And he's proven to be like an NFL starting caliber quarterback.
Right.
So who knows, right? He might come back next year, and they might not miss a beat with him.
Yeah, I don't see them missing a beat. I mean, you played under Jim Harbaugh. You know how to win, bro. You know how to play a quarterback, bro. So. They wouldn't. I don't think he would have got to the 12th pick he got. So
they traded up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And that's the problem with like trading him and committing to Darnold is you use that draft capital on him. That's a 1st-round pick, and since he hasn't really played, there isn't going to be a equivalent exchange of value for that because you gave up a first round 12th pick to pick him. No one's going to give you a first round pick back for JJ McCarthy, who's coming off a torn ACL and hasn't played a single down. So
New York Jets.
Maybe.
Either one of the New York teams might cough it up.
Or the Raiders.
The Raiders need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see.
I think there's going to be San Fran, because I don't think they're paying Purdy. I don't think San Fran paying Purdy.
Hell no. They better not. I mean, they are going to pay him, though. It just sometimes you feel like you kind of handcuffed. I feel like
this year in the draft position that they're at, because they're at like 10. They're at like 10 or 11. It gives them the opportunity of, okay, well, Kirk Cousins is probably going to get cut. And you know Kyle Shanahan love him some Kirk Cousins.
Oh, my God.
He might say, Kirk Cousins already got his money. Somebody's going to sign him to a vet minimum. He might be like, you know what, Purdy, you want 40 M's? You can walk. I'll take my chances with Captain Kirk. And I'll draft somebody I'll draft Genty to replace Christian McCaffrey, because Christian McCaffrey's cooked goods.
Yeah.
Hibachi fried rice on both sides. So
Debo Samuel's cooked.
Yeah, they got him on both sides. So it really is dependent on how well Sam Darnold, because like you said, if Sam Darnold has like a Ryan Fitzpatrick fall off this game or the next, I see them being like, you know what, thank you for your time, JJ McCarthy. But if he makes the NFC Championship game, I don't see how they don't run it back with him.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely have to. They have to, and I'll just be like, I'll be quiet. I'll be shout out to Sam, bro.
That's funny
for sure.
Well, Jared, any last thoughts on the playoffs or NFL draft or anything that you want to talk about before we close this thing out?
I do. I want to get into a little pivot mode right here. What do y'all think about that Penn State and Notre Dame game last night?
I loved it. I thought it was a little bit of a snooze fest that first half, because you could tell that, like, I don't know, the lights seemed a little too bright for Notre Dame. It really did. They couldn't move the ball at all. And not that Penn State could, but at least Penn State was able to run the ball and get in the end zone, right? But I feel that first drive when they gave Jeremiah Love the rock, which what they should have been doing the entire first half, gave your best player the ball, it kind of reminded them, oh, okay, we probably, like, don't get me wrong, they got Abdul Carter, but we probably got the second best player on the field right now in Love. Let's give him the ball. And from there, the nerves just got to Penn State.
Yeah. That hurdle he did last night was crazy. I'm just like, bro, on a bum leg, too, to pull that off.
And he told his coaches he wasn't hurdling this game, too.
Yeah, that boy a freak, bro.
Bro, if he came out this year in this draft, there'd be a very good argument between him and Genty. There'd be a very good argument, I believe Jeremiah Love is.
Hey, Ethan, we got to shout out Jayden Greathouse, who had some big plays for Notre Dame, and we actually covered him while we were at KTSW. He was playing for the Westlake Chaps at the time.
Oh, for real?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, look at that, man. Full circle moment. Yeah.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, I thought overall the game was a lot of fun, and that Drew Aller pick at the end is just brutal. Just brutal for Penn State, and how do we feel about like where the blame is being placed for that Penn State loss? Is it all on Aller, or is it on the coaching?
In college, I feel like coaches honestly have to save players for themselves. And Drew Aller was having a meh game, to say the least, bro. Threw 3 interceptions, got 2 of them called back. One by an iffy pass interference, a really iffy pass interference. And another one by a clear pass interference. And then he had that third one to end it. I think if you're James Franklin, right, you let Notre Dame come back in the game. And it's not like you not being able to big plays and scores. You are. But if you're seeing the way Drew is playing, you only got 35, 40 seconds left in the game. You're on your own side of the field. I think at that time you play for overtime.
Overtime.
It's college. You're gonna get the ball back at least once.
Yeah.
It's not NFL.
Yeah. I'm putting the blame on the quarterback though. You don't throw that damn ball across the middle like that. Come on, bro. Like, but I feel like the best team won anyway. Notre Dame. I feel like they were supposed to win anyway.
I feel like they've been becoming a team of destiny recently. Because Riley Leonard, even though I think he's fucking mid. He made some big time throws. I can't even hate.
Yeah, he did.
He made some big time throws that Drew Aller was not able to make. And I think that really was the difference from a performance aspect, because both defenses were shut down until late in the game. Both running back groups were able to move the ball. It just came down to quarterback play. Like Penn State, Not a single receiver caught a ball yesterday. They was doing cardio. Out there.
I can't blame the coach for that. I'm like, something has to I don't know. That shit's trash.
I tell you what, that Penn State tight end, what's his name, Whalen or Waller?
Warren.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
There's a spot on the NFL team for him. I know he's probably going top 10, top 15. He's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
He's really nice.
Hey, and while we're talking about the draft stock, Drew Aller, there were a lot of people who were talking about him in the first round.
I saw that.
That's very cooked. And as we're recording this, we are waiting on kickoff for UT versus Ohio State. So we will keep y'all in the loop with that. Make sure y'all are following us on our socials for any content that we post about NCAA playoff coming up soon, or NCAA championship coming soon. And we got more NFL playoffs because after wild card week
on that though. That UT Ohio State.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna pick UT. My heart lies with UT. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm biased, boy. I grew up a UT fan. They betrayed me by not letting me go to their school. But it's okay. I mean, guys tell me to forgive niggas, and I forgive them. But I think we might be in a situation with Ohio State like how we were earlier. We are now already anointing them, and I wonder if it really takes the edge off of them to really go aggressive. Because the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, is make UT underdogs.
Right.
Give UT, because both these teams, I don't feel like handle pressure the best, right? And I feel like in this situation, you're kind of being like, okay, Ohio State, you're probably going to win. Texas, just don't get blown out by 2 touchdowns. And even though it's by a slim margin, I think Texas got the better quarterback. And if there's any team able to at least frustrate, because they're not going to be able to slow down Emeka and Jeremiah Smith, it's going to be UT's secondary.
Yeah.
And I think if UT can make this a slugfest, especially early, if UT can get up early and really, really frustrate Ohio State and what they're able to do, they have a shot, especially if they're able to run the ball with Blue and that running back group. I think they got a shot. I'm gonna go with UT. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go UT.
I'm having a hard time deciding, man, because I want to go UT as well. Just being from Texas and just liking what they're doing, but Ohio State looks so good, man.
Yeah, they did.
The way Jeremiah Smith played last week was unbelievable, and he alone makes me think that that they're going to be able to do this. But you throw on how good the Ohio State backfield has been too, and defensively they've been awesome.
Defensively, I'm sure they're them and UT is going to be a battle. I think they might even have the upper hand. It's just offensively, are they able to keep that same energy?
Yeah,
because if they are, they're going to win the game.
I'm going to go Ohio State and hope that Texas wins, but I'm going with my logic. I'm going with my logical mind here and saying I think Ohio State's.
I'm right there with you. I want UT to win. I want Quinn to win so he can. I think if Quinn. Okay, another question. If Quinn wins tonight, is his NFL stock back good?
Depends how he wins. If he has an all-timer, he's going to need a J. Stroud against Georgia moment. Can he give UT a CJ Stroud versus Georgia moment? And if he does that, we're going to have conversations again about whether he should be drafted in the first round, maybe ahead of Shedeur and Cam. If he can do that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
People forget about CJ. People forget about what CJ did against Jordan. One of the greatest performers. I was not the biggest CJ Stroud fan. I really was not. Trust me, I wasn't. Right? I thought he underwhelmed, especially with the weapons he had. But, bro, the way he lit up that Georgia defense that had, I don't know how many first rounders that went and waxed TCU. He went. It was just him, Garrett Wilson, and I think it was Garrett Wilson, right? Him, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave against the world. It was them 3. And they went nuclear. And I was just thinking, damn. Maybe he really is that nice. Again, I might be fucking up the timeline, Cox sources when it comes to the receivers. It might have been Jackson Smith, but they were just he gonna need like one of those generational nights.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way he does it.
We'll see if he's able to pull it off, man.
Because if you go for 350 and 4 tubs and they lose by 3 points, we gonna talk about Quinn rose to the occasion. We gonna talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And deservedly so, because like I said, last week against Arizona State, I know it wasn't the prettiest, but I think Quinn was a difference maker. The way they were able to calm that team down in overtime for sure. Of the game.
Yeah.
So he walked them down twice. If the kicker doesn't miss those field goals.
Yeah, he did.
I think that's the only shot he got.
Come on, UT. Like, come on, bro. Y'all got to pull it off. UT and Notre Dame would be crazy.
What?
That would be crazy. That would be stupid.
But, Unc, before we go, I want you to plug everything that you got. I'm going to put you on a big screen by yourself. I want you to plug real quick everything.
Gotcha. First off, let me just say this. Thanks to Are We Recording for allowing me to come in a space, talk shit, talk about my Cowboys, talk about sports. I love sports. That's one of my passions for sure. But you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter at JT10N. I am a content creator. I'm a chef, so I do a lot of cool things. So make sure you check out my videos and things, and hit that follow button. I'll follow back. You know what I mean? And make sure y'all stay tuned to Are We Recording though. Make sure you hit the subscription, the bell, the like, the share, all that. Because I'm telling y'all, G and E, they gonna be big. So y'all can be one of the first ones to be like, damn, I used to watch this show before it blew up and da da da. So yeah, make sure you tap in. All right, man. Thank y'all again.
Appreciate you, Unc. And for those that are watching, this has been another episode of NFL Picks. Appreciate Unc for joining. You already know who it is. My partner, Mr. 007, Gage Sutton, the young Rottweiler, Mr. 5'6" of pure temptation, Pablo Frescovar. You already know what it is. It's our recording. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Thank y'all. Peace.